Welcome to the Church in the Wild podcast. You'll be hearing the words from worship from Sunday, July 12th, 2026, where we continue our conversation on the body with a discussion on body language. If you want to learn more about Church in the Wild and all of our upcoming events and programs, just go to churchinthewild.org. Thanks for listening.
So for today's Nature Connection, I want to share a few facts about an amazing mammal, Homo sapiens, us. When we think of humans, we often think about our cognitive ability or our self-awareness, and those are really distinguishing characteristics of humans, but sometimes I think we give too much emphasis on those things and not enough on the rest of our whole body. One reason I think is because many of us, maybe even most of us, are unhappy with our bodies in some way or another. We're unhappy with our outward appearance. We think we're too fat, too skinny, too tall, too short, too hairy, not hairy enough, not male or female or non-gendered enough, our skin's not smooth enough, on and on. And we also criticize the inner workings of our bodies when our vision isn't good, or our hearing, or we're not strong enough or flexible enough, or we have a chronic illness, or parts of our bodies don't work right or cause us pain. But even when something goes wrong, an injury, illness, a disability, or just a low energy day, so many systems in our body are still working 24/7 to keep us alive and functioning. So I'm going to share a few examples, and some of these you may have heard before, but I'm hoping someone will learn something. I did. Your eyes can distinguish around 10 million colors. Nose can distinguish, this one's crazy, up to 1 trillion different odor combinations. No one's saying you can remember 1 trillion, but you can distinguish that. Your nose has the capacity, the average nose. And your nerves can transmit signals at speeds up to 250 miles an hour. Your heart beats 100,000 times every day, pumping 2,000 gallons of blood. Your brain makes new connections throughout your life, and as I'm sure you know, after a brain injury, healthy parts of the brain can sometimes step in for functions that other ones aren't doing anymore. If you stretched your blood vessels out in a single line, any guesses how long it would measure?
To the moon?
Blood vessels. Oh, good one. 60,000 miles. Not quite to the moon. 60,000, but twice around the earth plus some.
Wow.
Just the blood vessels in your body. God knows where they fit, but some of them are really tiny. I looked that up in a couple places because I thought this doesn't sound right. Your stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve razor blades. I don't advise trying it. But your stomach lining continually replaces itself so it doesn't eat itself up. Well, we'll get to that. Pound for pound, your bones are 5 times stronger than steel, and your skeleton is alive. It's not just there. 10% of it is replaced every year. You take around 20,000 breaths each day, mostly without any effort on your part, and your lungs also have an enormous surface area for oxygen exchange. If you could spread all the receptors flat, it would be the size of a tennis court. Every day, your cells experience tiny DNA injuries, but specialized repair enzymes patrol around and fix most of them before they become problems. And one of the most interesting things, which Corey alluded to last week, is that most of the cells associated with you aren't even you in some way. They're not human. Your body is home to trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microbes, what's called the microbiome. And I know that sounds gross to some people, that all these other things are traveling in our body, but the plain fact is our body couldn't work without many of them. many of them co-evolved with our species, and they help us digest food and produce certain vitamins. They fight off bad bacteria and do a host of other things. It's easy to notice when your body is hurting or not working right because pain is designed to get our attention. But at the same time, millions of things are still going right. Your kidneys are filtering the blood, your heart keeps circulating oxygen, your lungs keep exchanging gases, your brain keeps coordinating all your movements and thoughts, your cells are repairing wear and tear, your immune system is standing guard, and throughout the day, your body is constantly working to maintain and restore balance, adjusting hormones, heart rate, temperature, blood sugar, and countless other processes. Every second, without any conscious effort, your body is carrying out an extraordinary number of life-sustaining processes, and most of them we don't even notice. This very moment, your body is performing millions of tiny miracles behind the scenes. So no matter what's going on with your body today, and I don't want to minimize any health struggles or pain anyone has, but no matter what health challenges you might have, I invite you to thank your body for all the ways it is working and all the ways it allows you to live and move and flourish in the world. That's it.
Yeah, that was interesting. Hi, I'm Sue. I am she, her. Our poem today is Manuel by Rosemerry, Wahtola, Trommer. Rosemerry shares this statement from Naomi Shihab Nye, poem Daily. The hands are churches that worship the world. To pour water over the aloe, the cyclamen, the jade plant, the cactus, this too is prayer. Prayer in touching my own dry lips, marveling at the fullness beneath fingertips. Worship in hefting the teapot by its thick black handle. Worship in squeezing the sudsy warm sponge. Just yesterday, while we were driving, Art said to me, "Why not open to the marvelous?" I equated marvelous with the grand, the inexplicable, even the strange. It didn't occur to me then that gripping the smooth leather arc of the steering wheel is marvelous. Cradling the white paper cup full of coffee is marvelous. Fingering the waffle pattern on the dishcloth as I fold it is marvelous. Marvelous. Flipping through skin-thin pages of notebooks. Marvelous and sacred. My palm resting on my husband's thigh. Marvelous, these knobby knuckles, how they curl around the hairbrush. Sacred, the pillowed pads of these fingers, how they trace the lines of my husband's face. How they twist and tug wool around the knitting needles. How they tap at the keyboard to fashion language out of feeling. How they rest above my heart and translate into praise that beat familiar and faithful.
Hi, my name is Dolly, she, her. Our wisdom today comes from embodiment expert Philip Shepard. The body's intelligence is holistic and inclusive. It is also a bottomless resource that, in our head-based culture, we tend to forsake. The body processes over 1 billion times more information than we can be consciously aware of. When we rely on the disassociated intelligence of the head, we are relying on a mere fragment of our intelligence. To be sure, it is a brilliant fragment with many gifts to offer, but it's a fragment nonetheless. Our reliance on it is encouraged by the way we confuse mind with brain, believing them to be the same thing. But the truth is that every cell in the body participates in its thinking. mind suffuses the whole of our being. It is possible to face every question with the whole of your being, to speak from the whole of your being, to listen with the whole of your being, and to think with the whole of your being. That is what the state of embodiment makes possible. Now, please join me in the response to this wisdom in the program. Our bodies speak and listen. May we live from the wholeness of our being.
Thank you. We're still on the body. We will be all month. I feel like we could talk about the body forever. And more as I age. That's what conversations are about, right? We get together with your friends. They're like, well, my back's killing me. It becomes the main focus. And even, when you got little kids, you're all so focused on their development. It's a big part of our lives. Imagine that. This meat suit we embody. It's pretty important. So we're talking about bodies this month. And my hope is that we maybe normalize bodies a little bit more for ourselves, take away the taboo or stigma about bodies that exists in all different cultures and places throughout the world and throughout history, and that we feel a little bit more connected to our bodies. We really can live from the shoulders up so much of the time, and we just ignore, try to, take an Advil, shut that part of my body up and just keep going. I just want to be up here all the time. But that doesn't serve us well. And our bodies, as we talked about last week, connect us to the earth in ways that, as we were hearing, the mind, the brain, maybe needs help doing. And so our bodies can help us with that, feel a deeper connection and feel things that the body doesn't, or the brain doesn't necessarily come up with on its own. We need our bodies, right? Or we would just be brains in a jar somewhere, right? That is a possibility, I suppose, but thank goodness we're not yet. Thank goodness we have these meat suits to be in. And we can connect with the earth so much when we remember, as we talked about last week, we are made of the same stuff that the planet is made of, that the trees are made of, that the animals are, like we all are carbon-based, right? Like we've only got so many elements to work with, and that's what makes all of us earthlings. So we have a lot more in common than we think, and we can find home here because we belong here. We are made of the same stuff, so we can be at home on the planet, and we can be at home in our bodies. So today we're talking body language is the title of today's conversation, but not in the typical sense, not in the way that human communication often relies on a lot of body language to communicate. We're talking about body language in the sense of how our body speaks to us and how we communicate to our bodies, because it goes both ways here. So let's start out. This kind of blew my mind a few years ago when I started hearing about it. Did you know that people think differently? And that sounds silly. I don't mean we think different things, but literally some people, two main categories, there are outliers of these, but the two main categories are verbal thinkers who hear an inner monologue, like the Wonder Years. You know, how we heard his inner monologue. And I remember seeing something posted online where somebody was like, wouldn't that be awesome if we really did have that? And everybody was like, we do. What do you mean? We do have that. And this person was like, what are you talking about? I don't have an inner monologue. And that was this sort of impetus for this whole conversation around the way people think. So the other category, which is smaller, are visual thinkers. So they are not hearing an inner monologue in their head all the time, which kind of sounds nice, but I'm sure there's downsides to this way too. They think in images. And so they're not hearing their thoughts, they're seeing their thoughts. And it doesn't mean that the verbal thinkers don't also have the ability to see in your mind's eye sometimes, but people have a variety of ability of that. It's like a spectrum of how well people can visualize something in their mind. But the visual thinkers are really good at that. They can they know exactly what's in the box in their closet right now. Yeah, I'm sure that must be connected to that. And then I think about Helen Keller didn't learn language until 9 or 10 or something? So how was she thinking, right? But obviously, lots of other beings think and process and have consciousness even, we know this. But we kind of assume that they have language as well. But without language, how do you think? I guess maybe, but she didn't have visual either. It's you can get into some really fascinating internet rabbit holes if you want to go down the science of thought and how people think. So cool. But yeah, there's these two categories. So most of us are verbal thinkers. Is anybody here a visual thinker where you don't hear it, but you see it? Bradley. That must be great. In some ways, from my perspective, grass is always greener, right? Sounds great to me.
Temple Grandin. She does a lot of animal husbandry stuff, but she teaches at Colorado State University. She wrote a book, she's highly autistic. Actually, it's Asperger's, I guess. But she wrote a book called Thinking in Pictures, where there's a movie with this whole thing. So those with Asperger's a lot of times will think in pictures.
Yeah. So that I think the neurodivergence it determines a lot about how we think.
I'm probably both, but
Yeah.
I got to the point where I had to just describe to people. I'm like, I have an image brain. So I can think in whole movie scenes and stuff like that. Yeah. It's pretty wild in here. Coming out is a whole adventure.
Yeah. What's wild to me is that we just take for granted how our brain works, and we don't even realize that other people have a completely different internal experience going on all the time. That's what was so cool to me to learn this stuff, is oh, okay. It's not the same for everyone. Yeah, Bill.
Speaking of that, I take for granted that I can communicate with Maisie, with my dog. I mean, really, she'll come up to me and she'll stand there and stare at me, and I know she wants something. So then we start the guessing game, and I say, "You want a snack? You want to go outside? You want something to eat?" And if she licks, that means yes. It's okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Right. When we know each other well, we can start to communicate beyond species even.
There's some people that actually see different colors with different notes from music. I mean, we talk about the blues, right? I mean, there's some science behind the name for the blues. But yeah, they actually see or visualize colors with different music. It's
Yeah.
kinda cool.
So cool.
And my son Wesley is able to do that, by the way.
Wow. Wow.
I think it was Van Gogh that said about painting. He said, "I dream of a painting, and then when I wake up, I paint my dream."
Yeah. Yeah, the brain is an amazing part of the body, and it's as diverse as we are. So we think differently. How we think, or thinking in general, is pretty much the main way that we communicate to our bodies. The thoughts that we think. And so each week I say, do what you need for your body, mind, and spirit, right? But really, all three of those things are contained here, right, in the meat suit. And so our soul is contained here for now. And our mind, I love that our wisdom helped differentiate between the brain and the mind. Because for me, the brain is like some kind of magic of the brain and soul and consciousness. Like your mind is your ego, yourself, you know, the person thinking all those thoughts, whether you're seeing them or hearing them. That's your mind. And it is slightly different concept than your brain. Because your mind, as he was saying, contains all the information from your whole body. So everything is all here, though, right? Like we might separate them out and say body, mind, spirit, or even make that differentiation between mind and brain or consciousness or whatever. But it's all here. And we have an energy aura that goes out, and we can send our, thoughts and prayers and energy and Reiki and all of that. But it starts here. And that's really important, I think, to remember. I was so surprised, not too surprised, a little surprised to read Pope John Paul II's Theology of the Body. And he says, the body, in fact, and only the body, is capable of making visible what is invisible. The spiritual and the divine. It has been created to transfer into the visible reality of the world the mystery hidden from eternity in God, and thus to be a sign of it. Our bodies were created to be a sign of God. They are what takes the invisible life force that's animating everything and makes it a solid thing that can stand before each other and we can see. Everything that we experience as spiritual, we experience through our bodies, through our 6, 7, however many senses we have, right? It all comes down to this. We can't, and I don't think the goal is to transcend our bodies, but to be fully embodied in and present in each moment. So usually when we talk about listening to our bodies, we're like, what does your body need? Where is it tight? Where is there pain? What is it trying to tell you? But what about the messages our body gives us about joy or truth or connection? Because I think our body is talking to us all the time, not just through pain, right? Whenever I hear a deep spiritual truth, or even like a beautiful piece of music or a beautiful poem, chills instantly, right? And to me, it feels like when you're tuning and you're trying to match the notes and you get them and you can feel they're reverberating together. That's what it feels. It feels like my spirit is reverberating exactly in line with whatever that was I just heard, that truth, that song, and it's just this little like confirmation, like, yes, that's true, that's good. And then I discovered several years ago, and I actually wrote about this in my ordination papers, which got some criticism, but they still let me through. And it was only because I discovered this body response because I happened to choose heat-sensitive nail polish one time. I went and got my nails done. So it's like a mood ring, but nail polish. So under hot water, they would turn pink. The rest of the time, they were purple, because my hands are always cold. I have bad circulation. My hands and feet are always chilly, even now. Sometimes they would start to get like lighter purple if it was really hot out. But then I led prayer for the church, and they were pink. They were hot. My hands were hot. And I never even realized that was happening for years until I could see it. Obviously, I should have been able to feel it, but it never registered for me until I was like, wait a second, how are my nails pink? They're always purple unless I run them under hot water. So praying with other people gets my hands hot. Last week I got acupuncture, the same thing happened. My hands were like radiating heat. It was wild. So I'm really curious, are there things you have noticed over the course of living in this body that your body does to communicate to you? Like chills or getting hot or cold or...
Somebody just hit me about music and confirmation. It struck a chord.
Mm-hmm.
We use that language, don't we?
Yeah, we feel it.
Well, when I go outside and hear the birds, I can feel the relaxation start right here, where I'm always most, and just,
Yeah, wait.
Whenever like sun is on me, I don't usually get sunburn, but I start feeling more tired.
Interesting, yeah. Sun makes you tired. Hannah.
So for like a long time, like I'd say quite a long time, I've been telling my eye doctors like there's these like floaters in my eyes that happen randomly, and they looked and they haven't found anything, and I think I figured out what it actually is, and I think it's because I've noticed if my brain either tries, because my eyes, the way that they've been for most of my life, I can only see out of one or the other at a time. And so sometimes if my brain tries to look with both or tries to switch too quickly between one or the other, it's kind of like TV static, you know, you get these little kind of spaghetti, floaty type things that just kind of, So yeah, it's like my brain loses communication with whatever.
Yeah, switching channels.
Yeah, switching channels, exactly.
Wow, that's so cool you figured it out.
Yeah.
And thank you for mentioning that, because we are the experts on our bodies. And we have to know that every time we talk to somebody who thinks they're an expert on bodies, and they might be, but we are the expert on our bodies. Nobody else can tell you what it is like to live in here. And so you got to show up to those appointments ready, right? Yes. Yes. Knowing you're the expert in the room on your body. Our bodies have so much to tell us all the time, and we're hearing about how they're communicating to us all the time. But the other side of this coin of body language is what we are telling our bodies. So what things do you most often think about or say about your body? Ow. Ow. It starts early these days. Ow, yeah. I think it's like the stress of living through unprecedented event after event.
it's usually an unverbally expressed groan. So it's just moaning.
Yeah. And you kind of alluded to this, Cheryl. It's usually criticism, right? Oh, come on. Hands work.
Or I said, well, okay, so you ate the wrong stuff and now you're paying for it.
Yeah.
We take for granted the fact that our bodies can heal themselves.
This is where we're headed. You're right on the wavelength. Yes.
Imagine if we had every wound on our body, me being 69, ever since I was a kid, every wound on my body was still there. Oh my God, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, literally, I beat the shit out of myself when I was a kid and as a young adult. But the fact that your body heals itself is a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't last long if it didn't.
Right.
I can't believe I lasted my childhood.
Right. Yeah. So there is really cool research. Again, love when science catches up with spirituality, right? Ancient wisdom. Research is finding that speaking gently to your body can instantly promote its healing. Calm, supportive self-talk activates our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our body's rest and repair mode. We talk a lot about fight or flight or fawn, but what we really want to be in is rest and repair. Yes, so when we can be in this rest and repair mode, it reduces our stress hormones, it helps boost our immunity, lowers inflammation. But unlike medication that takes time to absorb, the body responds to these mental signals within seconds. So if we can pause when something is hurting and speak kindly and gently to it, the body will respond instantly. And evidence has confirmed that intentional, kind internal dialogue can immediately lower your heart rate, ease pain, and it creates like this powerful reset for stress regulation and physical recovery. So it's really actually very important what we say to and about our bodies. There's this wonderful spiritual author, Dolores Cannon. She's this great, super wrinkly old woman who will come through on my news feed every once in a while. She says, when you speak to your body, you are the voice of God to every cell. So tell your body how much you love it. Say, I love you, heart. I love you, liver. Your body will listen. Your cells love it when you speak to them, she says. And so I have started trying this, to go through and think about all the different things within your body and just saying thank you, I love you, you know what to do, you're doing great, you know how to heal, good job skin, thank you bones, thank you fluids, like great work cells, you know? Some positive talk to your body. And as with everything, saying it out loud has a greater effect. So you might want to find somewhere to go that people don't think you're totally insane. But I also think there's some good like normalizing we can do, you know, especially if you say like, well, my pastor told me to talk to my body, so. I read another story of someone who started doing this, and they said, whenever I pass someone on the street who's injured, or someone would talk to me about not feeling well, I would use that as a prompt to thank my body for functioning properly in all the ways it is, even if there are ways that it's not. You know, find ways of triggering yourself to remind you to thank your body, to encourage it. And they said they started to talk to their body every morning and saying, hey, body, I'm sorry that you're having to process all this stress or that, you know, for what I'm about to put you through today, but I am truly grateful for all that you do. So last week we talked about our interdependence on every other thing, our interbeing with everything else. The same goes for our bodies. What you do and say to your body affects every part of it. So our mind, body, spirit, they're all interconnected. We are an interbeing in ourselves. And the great news for us is that we can speak goodness and love into ourselves. We can speak healing. And that helps us to live it out and show up as those things in the world. So we can speak to our body what we want and hope for it to be, and it will respond, it will listen. And then we're showing up with that energy wherever we go. So try it out. Let me know if you talk to yourselves this week. Be interested to see how you feel if you give it a try.
And then we'll do a progressive body scan, but along the way give a little more attention and gratitude to our body parts. So starting at the crown of your head, your scalp. Thank your scalp. And your eyes. In whatever way feels natural for you, bring gratitude and blessing to your eyes. And then your nose. Notice if you notice any odors. Thank your nose for being able to smell beautiful odors and alerting you to not so beautiful ones. And your lips and teeth and tongue. The way they allow you to taste delicious foods, to eat things that nourish your body. Your throat, the way it allows you to express yourself in the world. The way it keeps your breath and the foods you eat separate almost all the time. And notice the back of your neck. If there's any tension there, invite it to release a little bit. And follow your vertebrae down your spine. One at a time as best you're able. Until you get to your tailbone and then your pelvic bones that are sitting on the seat. And feel the rest of your skeleton, your shoulders, down your arms, out through your fingers. And then your pelvis down through your legs and out through your toes. And just notice the strength of your skeleton and how it holds you upright, how it can bend and flex. And then bring attention to the muscles that are attached to those bones. Starting up at your neck and head, jaw, the muscles along the front of your body, your front of your torso, the muscles around the back of your torso, your shoulders and all the muscles that attach your shoulders to your neck and to your spine and to your arms, and then the muscles of your arms all the way down to your hands. Bring blessing to your hands. They do so much for you every day. And then bring attention to the muscles in your hips and your legs and your feet. And bring blessing to them. And bring attention to your inner organs, your brain. Thank it for all it does for you. Let it relax. Your heart and your lungs, which carry the energy in and out of your body. All your digestive organs, your esophagus, your stomach, your intestines, the other little organs, the pancreas and gallbladder, liver, any other ones you want to give a name to. And send them some love and blessing and gratitude. For all they do every day. And then just notice the skin that encloses your entire body. Maybe starting at the top of your head and going down one side, down your arm, back up, down the side, down that leg, back up and around, down the other leg, up to your armpit, down that arm and around and back up to the top of your scalp. And give gratitude for how it holds you together, literally. And then maybe bring attention to the energy field around you that emanates from your body. And give gratitude for that, for the way that interacts with other people, with the earth, brings information in that you might not otherwise be aware of. And then just in whatever way feels natural, let your whole body be surrounded by warmth and light, surrounded and filled. Warmth and light and love. Gratitude. And just rest in that for a moment. And if there's anything you wish to say to your body internally, take the opportunity. If you wish to invite healing into any space in particular, do so. And if you sense anything that your body is asking of you, that you are able to do, just notice that. And then if it feels natural to you, you might bring your hand to your heart, or maybe cup your cheek, or wrap your arms around yourself, something to express love to this body of yours. And allow your body to receive that love. And then one final moment of gratitude for anything you might have received during this time. And then slowly bring your attention back into the circle. Very slowly, taking your time.
Whatever intention you're setting for yourself this week, I hope we will all live with intention, remembering what we do matters. We're all connected, and we're going to use our alternative deep peace blessing that I had to look up because I don't have this one memorized. So let's stand and give the deep peace to all of our different parts. And I don't remember what motions we did last week, but we'll make them up again. Deep peace of running blood within you. Deep peace to the flowing air within you. Deep peace to the stretching muscles within you. Deep peace to the quiet bones within you. Deep peace to the shining skin around you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. And we'll sing peace, salam, shalom. 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 Thanks for listening. If you want to support Church in the Wild and the work we do in striving for environmental and social justice, just head on over to our website, churchinthewild.org, and click the donate link at the top. There you can make a donation, set yourself up as a recurring supporter, or you can buy something from our Redbubble shop. We're so glad you're with us on this journey, following the Spirit through creation, adventure, and restoration. Until next time.